Welcome to the Altro Possibilities Studio. This purpose-built space, highlighting design for mental health facilities, can be found here at Letchworth, our head office and floors manufacturing site. We recognise the need for this facility after members of our technical services team were called to a prominent London hospital to undertake some remedial work to a calm-down room. Mental health facilities have specific needs, and it's important that these spaces are designed so they provide a safe environment for both service users and staff.
This means finishes that can't easily be broken and used to cause injury. It means ligature-resistant, and it means surfaces that can be easily cleaned and maintained.
In the calm-down room that our team visited, the wrong kind of trim had been used for our Whiterock wall sheet system, and it had the potential to be used as a weapon or a self-harming implement. So following the introduction and the replacement of the correct trim, we realised the opportunity to be able to highlight safe and secure detailing for future specifications. This would support service users who often ask for guidance, and from here the Altro Possibilities Studio was opened, which involved 9 bays of differing types of detail situations. Although showcasing appropriate finishes for mental health facilities was our immediate aim, we soon realised that robust finishes were a requirement for other sectors as well. That would include social housing, among other spaces. So let's take a look around. Most of the bays are fitted out with Altro Whiterock Hygienic wall systems, which is seamless, impact resistant and wipe clean. In this instance, the flexibility of Altro Whiterock is shown in how it can be formed around a corner in one application. We'll talk about the benefits of this when we get to bay 7. Radius corners can be seen without the need to thermoform the corner. This detail follows the curved substrate of the sheet, as it has to be applied to a sound substrate. In most cases, a minimum radius of 500mm is recommended, but for a tighter radius it will be necessary to clamp the material during installation. The curved corner is formed by using flexible MDF to make a radius. In this instance, the rest of the wall substrate is plasterboard. Imagery can have calming and therapeutic effects, so here we've used Altro Whiterock DigiClad. Bespoke designs can be created with images printed on the sheet surface and across the jointing strips, enabling a fully integrated system. You can see that the Altro Orchestra flooring is coved up over a standard 38mm cove former, with the wall sheet overlapping the flooring, which is taken around the radius and cove throughout. Taking the wall sheet as low as possible makes it more tamper resistant. Altro Whiterock is again the wall finish here. The internal corners are thermoformed, but the joints between sheets in this case are hot welded. Some service providers prefer this, finding them easier to clean. The most significant detail here is the interface at the bottom of the sheets where they meet the top of the flooring integral cove. A 20mm minimum deep cut is made into the wall with a 10mm minimum gap allowed so that the wall sheet can be thermoformed 90 degrees and adhered into this rebate. At the same time, the top edge of the flooring should be adhered and turned into this rebate. The gap between the two finishes should be sealed with a suitable anti-pick mastic. This detail negates the potential leverage point at the bottom of the wall and for any self-harming opportunity. This detail also enables the floor finish to be removed easily without disturbing the wall finish should the flooring need to be changed at a later date. A similar detail can also be adopted around window reveals. The flooring used here is Altro Serenade, an acoustic floor which offers 19 dB impact sound reduction. At 3.9mm thick, it provides comfort underfoot and is more comfortable if the service user lays or sits on it. We see here the introduction of Altro FlexiFlow Comfort as a floor finish. Some service providers prefer to use resins as they are seamless and extremely durable. A flexible polyurethane resin is mixed and applied by hand on site. It's tough enough to handle impact, and with variable top coats it enables to adjust the degrees of slip resistance as needed. You can see that we have incorporated a cove by using a resin cove former, Altro Screed Resolve. This is applied using coving trowels. The previously mentioned top coats are then dressed over it. In this bay you can see a circular cutout within the Altro Whiterock wall sheet, highlighting the fact that we apply adhesive completely across the back of the surface, giving a totally bonded finish. This method allows for a sound installation, but it also improves the hygiene benefits, doing away with any potential infestation. This is why we don't approve any dot and dab fixes, which can leave gaps for water, bacteria and insect ingress. Here is an example of a one-part fixing trim. You can see that it's very hard to remove once the Altro Whiterock sheet is locked into it. Here Altro Whiterock is being used in conjunction with a 3mm decorative resin, Altro Screed epoxy resin. The cutout section here shows the resin cove upstand with the wall sheet overlapping by a minimum of 50mm. The appropriate Altro adhesive is taken down to the bottom of the sheet to ensure maximum adhesion. Using 15mm plywood for the coving upstand and 18mm for the main wall substrate gives a 3mm difference. This allows the resin to sit flush with the wall prior to the installation of the wall sheet without losing any of the strength or integrity of the cove section. The bottom of the wall sheet has a chamfered edge to take away any sharpness and is then sealed with an anti-pick mastic. This is perhaps our most durable floor and wall system for very demanding locations and is often used in custodial environments. Both elements of our decorative resin epoxy screeds are mixed on site and applied by hand and give seamless, hard-wearing surfaces. The wall surface here is a minimum of 3 mm thick and trowel applied, which enables the material to be taken around any external corner. A similar tight angle can be formed to internal corners. Alternatively, a vertical cove can be created during application or retrofitted as shown here. The first coving method is preferred so that no seams are visible. The floor here is 4 mm Altro resin screed. With this floor finish, the slip resistance can be varied to suit client specific requirements. Coving at the floor and wall juncture is also created using a 38 mm radius coving trowel. The floors and walls can be sealed with the same seal coat to give a hygienic, seamless transition from the floor to wall detail. This system is also free of any potential ligature points. This bay is another combination of Altro Whiterock wall cladding and resin. Here we can see the finish fitting flush to the floor, whilst on an adjacent section of the wall it can be seen overlapping the coved flooring upstand. 3 corners accommodated in one sheet by thermoforming highlights the hygienic benefits of reducing joints. Here you can see thermoforming into the window reveals. The cutout again shows the advantage of the one-part trim. There is no way that this can be manually removed. The Altro screed resin floor finish continues out into the corridor. As we saw in Bay 1, Altro Whiterock can be formed around a corner. The significance in this case is that it loses the traditional 90-degree angle as we see here. A gentle curve such as this enables the vulnerable surface users to feel more comfortable and unable to hide away as they might in such a tight angle. This detail can also prevent people from climbing up the walls. The floor finish is Altro FlexiFlow, a flexible polyurethane resin, and the Altro Whiterock sheet fits flush to the floor with an anti-pick mastic applied. A bit of a vibrant retro colour here. Here we see another way of detailing corners. By using plywood formers, we have been able to create 45-degree corners as an alternative to the traditional more severe 90-degree versions. The floor finish here is Altro wood flooring bonded to an 8mm underlay. This allows the surface to be much more energy absorbing. The flooring is finished flush to the wall substrate prior to the wall sheet installation. This detail gives a fully sealed system with the flooring trapped under the wall cladding, allowing for any required washdown. In this shower area, the wall sheet overlaps the flooring, which has been continued 150mm up the wall. This shows the choice of finishing the wall system either flush to the floor or allowing for an integral cove.
The formulation of our specialist safety flooring for wet environments enables the material to be finished tight this way, without a traditional cove former and without any risk of the material cracking if it's installed correctly.
With older residents where dementia or visual impairment may be a factor, contrast helps them to understand the space. If the coving is taken, say, 150mm up the wall, it gives the appearance of being further back, so keeping the cove low helps them to understand the boundary. Here, both the one-part trim and the welded joint can be seen. We find that different service providers and specifiers prefer one system over the other, but both really provide a workable option. Here, multiple bends have been thermoformed into one Altro Whiterock wall sheet to form both internal and external corners. The wall sheet has been thermoformed into a rebate adjacent to the door frame, so no free edge is visible or accessible in the finished room. The floor has been coved here at right angles without the use of a cove former. A butterfly or envelope weld has been used to complete this finish. Only one weld is used away from the corner of the mitre, making the detail very strong with better impact resistance on the outer edge compared to the welds on the external mitre. A cove former does provide a better radius for cleaning. A butterfly can also incorporate a cove former on the outer edge. Since its inception, the Altro Possibilities Studio has welcomed many service providers, specifiers and contractors who wanted to provide safe and robust installation across a number of spaces. Because we realise there are no definitive specifications for this type of environment, what it has enabled us to do is to open up dialogue with a number of people to discuss their requirements and needs for what are probably the most challenging environments for flooring and wall systems. We trust you've enjoyed the short tour of our Possibilities Studio. If you would like to discuss any challenges you may have, look for technical information or even arrange a visit to a facility here, then please do not hesitate to contact us. Thank you.